Thursday. And I told you guys earlier that our new superintendent, Dr. Marie Feagins, was going to be in the
Yeah.
studio, and she is in the studio. She is in the studio. Sun comes up, she's here.
That's right. That's right.
And so we are so glad to have you. Thank you so much for stopping by because we know that you're busy. Yesterday was just phenomenal. It was your official first day, and you started making your way around the district. And I say started, but I don't mean like you've never
Right,
done
right,
that. I would just
right,
mean for your official day you
right.
started. You've hit the road running since you got here. So
Yeah.
how are you? Have you been able to inhale and exhale at every stop,
Sure, sure, sure. This does not feel like work to me. And so it is a lot of moving parts and just beautiful opportunities to be out in the community with the people who I serve. What I have been reminded of and what I've been reminding myself is I belong to the people, right?
Mhm.
And so it has been a privilege to begin my first day yesterday. So the first day of school was great.
Mhm.
And starting as a consultant, in March gave me the opportunity to go ahead and get out
Right.
without the pressure of the position, if you will,
Mhm.
being immediate. Allowed me to see some things, ask some sharp questions, review a lot
Right.
of documents, just really get out to the city itself. Had the chance to get to rendezvous, of
Okay.
course, experience some worship services.
Mhm.
And so that's been great. But yesterday, starting off at the Melrose High School, such a
Right.
historic place and space, and just so many alumni and wise spaces
Mhm.
were in the room to support me, but our students. And so anytime
Exactly.
you take the day, take the time to show up, it means a lot, and that's what it will require to move forward. And so having the opportunity to move on to Fox Meadows Elementary
Mhm.
School and see some of our younger, and
Right.
bright faces in the place and leading the way and getting into some classrooms and seeing the excitement. Learning is taking place,
Mhm.
instruction is taking place. And so while we have, a lot of work to do in
Right.
terms of performance and achievement as it is, currently evaluated now,
Mhm.
I know that the kids are okay. The kids are well,
Mhm.
and we will be all right. And so it was a great first day. Concluded it in the Orange Mound area at
Right.
Red Zone
Right.
Ministries, and
Right.
so a packed place, right? And
Mhm.
so the opportunity there for the VIP tour, the Voice Improves partnership, is just
Mhm.
bringing the city together, bringing the community together. I think that when I interviewed, I promised that it was my responsibility and my goal and my
Right.
focus to bring and bridge all corners of the 901 community together. And I think you were able to see that last night.
Right.
The
Exactly.
community was able to
Mhm.
see that. We had elected officials in the place. Thank
Exactly.
you to Chairman Smiley, City Councilwoman, our county commissioners
Mhm.
who were out and will still come out as well to support central
Right.
office teammates who have really hit the ground running
Mhm.
and really bringing this vision to reality in a really small amount of time while supporting a transition of the former
Mhm.
interim superintendent, who I applaud for her leadership as well,
Right.
and
Right.
really holding it down for the past almost 2 years,
2 years. Mhm.
whatever the case may be. And the fact that we're on the other side, getting here required someone to maintain the
Right.
stability. And so applause to her
Mhm.
and the leadership as well. So it's good to be here this morning.
Okay, yes. And then you're not stopping, of course. We talked about how you've just been going and been meeting and touching and gathering, if you will,
Yeah.
bringing people together.
Yeah.
And so, you have a whole all month long.
Yeah.
We have those voice improved
Yeah.
partnerships tours,
Right.
right? We have two a week, Monday and Thursday.
Right.
And so, guys, if you're listening, you can go to the social media platforms for Memphis-Shelby County Schools and
Yeah.
click on the link so you can register. It's open to all, but they would like for you to register so that they'll know, who's there and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So that is in and of itself a fabulous thing. So while you have been out there looking, and I know we all saw your interviews and everything, and
Yeah.
I imagined you to be someone who likes to assess.
Sure. Sure.
That's what I saw
Yeah.
in you, and I could be off, but I saw when you were doing your interview,
Yeah.
you talked about how you look at things. And for me, that means assessment. You
Right.
you assess a process.
Right.
You assess, how what's working well,
That's right.
what's not working
That's
well.
right.
And so last night you talked about how you had been in the community
Yeah.
and you received some kind of sharp
Yeah.
feedback,
Yeah. Yeah.
and know that you're already looking through processes. So when you look at our processes
Yeah.
and you see what's
Yeah.
going on, like you said, you see our children learning and you
Yeah.
see there's some need for some
Yeah.
improvement. You mentioned that yesterday,
Sure.
you know. So when we're talking about moving forward and moving forward for our kids,
Yeah.
what what does that sound like, look like, feel like for you?
Sure, sure. So I shared with the team through a district-wide email
Mm-hmm.
yesterday that that we have 40 days left. So let's just focus, relentlessly on finishing strong. I think what that takes us to will be greatly sharpened by what I continue to see over these next 100 days. And so that sharp feedback, which is necessary and certainly asked. I want
Mm-hmm.
to hear the things that don't feel good. This is not a position where you want to feel good all the time. You want to get into the gaps and be
Right,
able to
right,
address
right.
the concerns, the hopes and dreams, as I've called it, moving forward. And what that looks like is relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That is certainly, partnerships. That is engagement. But that's ensuring that we have the basics, the fundamentals in our rooms, in our buildings. And so, I can't continue to hear too many students tell me they don't have, books and
Right,
access to just
right,
the general
right.
resources that are necessary. And so those are the things we have to handle and address immediately. I shared with the senior leadership team that, any organization, whatever that might be, from Nike to Disney and everything in between that we
Mm-hmm.
know of and haven't heard of, the success of it, rises and falls and depends on just three areas. And that's effectiveness, efficiency, and then an organization's capacity to adjust and be
Mm-hmm.
adaptable to external change, right? So we're,
Right.
we're seeing what that
Right.
last part looks like, how we're able to
Right.
adjust, but the efficiency is determined immediately by our practices, our processes, the systems that we have in place. So those that need to be strengthened, those that need to be kind of removed, and then
Mm-hmm.
the systems that we don't have that need to be
Need to be.
implemented. So that's taking a look at every contract. That's looking at, all of our practices and strategies that we have,
Mm-hmm.
some that are connected to ESSER funding, and we have to take a deeper look at, but just some of those that we need to sharpen in general. Our teachers are asking for more development. They want
Mm-hmm.
mentors and coaches, and we got to be able to give that to them as well. Our students are asking for more exposure and opportunities to get
Mm-hmm.
out into the Memphis area, but certainly for me, it's about exposure, broadly,
Right.
internationally. I want our kids
Right.
to go and have global exchange experiences,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to immerse themselves into different environments that are beyond the United States of America. We're
Right.
looking to develop multilingual and
Exactly.
multifaceted learners and leaders
Mm-hmm.
who can speak multiple languages but can show up in any room and own it, right? And so
Right.
that requires
Exactly.
this type of learning
Exactly.
experience that you heard me last night describe as unrivaled. That
Right.
means no one else can compete with it, but it also means that while you might have an opportunity that is leader, meaning staff, or student, meaning learner, you have the opportunity to go other places,
Mm-hmm.
but you choose to stay here with Memphis-Shelby County Schools. So that's the goal. And so this work will lead us to it in terms of the documents that I'm looking at. And you were
Mm-hmm.
able to see a lot of that in my interview. A lot of people
Right.
ask, what's that binder you had? And what's all that information you
Right.
were bringing? I don't know
Right.
that we make effective decisions without looking at the root causes,
Mm-hmm.
without looking at the data, but more importantly, giving the data a name. So who is behind and in front of, that proficiency score that we're trying to raise,
Mm-hmm.
that low attendance that we're needing to improve,
Right.
the truancy rate that we're having to address immediately, the crime rate, respectively, that
Respectively,
could be,
yes.
I won't say that it is directly associated and related to our discipline rates that we have in
Mm-hmm.
some of our spaces, but we're owning all of this
Mm-hmm.
and also saying that we need some great leaders to step up,
Right.
those who are internally who want to do that, but also looking forward to attracting those who are external and either want to come back home or they want to come and just be a part of moving Memphis forward.
Forward. Exactly. We spoke a little bit off of air right before
Yeah,
we went on,
yeah, yeah,
and I was telling you that I was following you on X, formerly known as Twitter, for those listeners out there,
yeah,
and I saw, and I don't know, it just made my heart smile. You had your post where you supported the schools going up to
yeah,
state to compete with basketball. You
yeah,
were out there with the cheerleaders,
yeah.
learning the steps and
That's right.
everything.
That's right. That's right. These old knees, they were out there trying to hang on. I got an order in right now for some new knees. But
With some new
yeah,
needs.
yeah,
And then also I saw where you had visited Hope Academy,
yeah.
you know, and your post there, you mentioned, you said, when I say all kids,
Yeah.
I mean all
All.
kids.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And so you posted that, and these are places where you have been going. Um, can you just let our listeners
Yeah.
know, what what that makes you feel? Why?
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it is, multiple things. I just enjoy it. It's a natural part of my being. And so I think, when we get quote unquote big titles like this,
Hmm.
it's easy to lose yourself. And so my promise to myself and my family is that I would just be me,
Hmm.
my authentic self. I think that's all that we can
Yeah.
be. And I think that's enough as well. And
Right.
so a part of that is my experience as a cheerleader, my experience playing basketball. I coached cheerleading for several years. I
Hmm.
competed. And so just a general excitement of what that brings to, a ball game,
Hmm.
to a crowd. I think that
Yeah.
sports is one of those areas that brings us
Together.
together. We don't think about all the fluff and stuff that's happening around us. We're
Right.
just focused on having a good
Good
time,
time.
rooting for our own team. And so, that is something more of that I want us to draw out of
Hmm.
or draw on and sit with and really accelerate and deepen as a district on how we treat each other, how we cheer for
Right.
each other, how we
Right.
root for the best for each other, whatever that might look like. And so when I heard that three of our teams, not
Right.
just one,
Right.
three of our
Three.
teams,
Exactly.
were state bound to
Yes.
compete to become champions, I'll absolutely be there. The team kind of fought me on it, but I'll be there. If I have to drive
Right.
myself, I will be there. And so
Right.
that's what you were able to see. And I was proud to share and show.
Hmm.
Shout out to Middle College High School, my guys at
Yes.
Ridgeway High School, and then my
Yes.
fellas over at Douglas as
Yes,
well, for
ma'am.
representing the city well, for
Mm-hmm.
representing the district well. We came up just a little short, but as I shared with them, next year started the next day
Right.
in terms of just getting back there and do it again. But that's nothing to fall short of. It's hard to make it that
Exactly.
far. And so congratulations to them, the coaches, their families, the sacrifice, the time that's given,
Right.
to
Right.
really go and be
Mm-hmm.
excellent. And so really enjoyed that and looking forward to doing more of the same. The cheerleaders wanted to teach me an 8 count, have natural hair. And so the roots will rise, when a little heat gets to it. And so, we had to stop just a little short, but that was exciting as well. So
Mm-hmm.
everywhere I go, young ladies who put in a lot of time, that's often unseen,
Right.
but they are the carriers of spirit,
Yes.
the leaders of excellence,
Right.
and can really serve to shift a school. It's how I used
Mm-hmm.
and leveraged my cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
You sit in the front of the class, we maintain a 3.0, and so those are
Exactly.
just always
Exactly.
opportunities to build leaders. I think when I visited Hope Academy, which, in tandem with or led by, the Juvenile Justice and Education Center,
Mm-hmm.
it is never exciting,
Right.
or never easy, if you will, to
Right.
have those visits in any city that I've been in Cleveland, Detroit, or even in Birmingham, when I would take the students to visit jails. I think that, there are consequences for our actions,
Mm-hmm.
but there are also, a balance. Of second chances and 10th
Right.
chances, and
Right.
we've all been given them, and we
Yes.
all, deserve them. And so when I say all kids, that is exactly what I mean. Every one of them, including, but
Mm-hmm.
also especially
Sure.
when
Mm-hmm.
your back is against the wall. And so to be able to be in this space and see those, bright faces was both encouraging but
Mm-hmm.
also disheartening. We have a lot of work to do. That is the one place, and I share with the leadership there, that is the one place that I do not desire for enrollment to increase. And so
Right.
they can depend on me to be a competitor while being a supporter, because we cannot afford for more of our young faces
Mm-hmm.
and our greatest leaders to arrive there. And so we have to work on conflict resolution,
Mm-hmm.
leadership skills, social development.
Right.
COVID contributed to exacerbating a lot of that. And so a lot of work has to be done. And I look forward to partnering with the leadership there and continuing to go back, celebrating those students. They have honor
Right.
roll and, a lot of
Right.
opportunities as well there. So I look forward to supporting the programming and really figuring out, a better way forward for
Mm-hmm.
all of our students, but certainly our students there as well.
Exactly, exactly. I like the way you said second chance,
Yeah.
10,000 chance,
Yeah.
another chance, just
That's right.
every day, a whole nother
That's right.
chance. So that is awesome. I understand what you're talking about being a cheerleader
Yeah.
in the old knees because
Yeah.
I was a cheerleader too. And I don't know if I even know how to count 8 counts anymore, but I saw you,
I
it's
think you
like,
still have it. I think you still have
yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
do it. So as we move forward,
Sure.
you have the rest of this is like your official first
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that are in the plans, if you will, if you can
Sure.
share
Sure. Sure.
what for this first week for you?
Yeah, so for me, I visit schools every day. So today I'll
Mhm.
be at Middle College High School in the Central High
Woohoo!
School, as I've learned it is called. I will be there, joined by a few, former elected officials and some faces
Mhm.
there. I'll have an opportunity to sit, with the mayor today and share some time and really talk about, what it is that we align with for sure.
Mhm.
Mayor Young has been incredibly supportive since day one.
Mhm.
He was one of the first messages that I received in terms of congratulatory sentiments, and he's been a supportive partner in action,
Mhm.
physically, and then certainly now we'll have an opportunity to just talk about some
Right.
things. He visited his former alma mater or his alma mater with me, invited him back to East High School, and so that was a good opportunity.
Mhm.
We shot some ball there as well, but
Mhm.
also listened to the principal and the team share about roof leaks and bleachers not working, and
Mhm.
so it's conversations that we have collectively about how to improve our infrastructure,
Right.
but also how to move the city forward because, the district schools is the cornerstone of the community and the
Yes.
city. And so there's no better way forward than by enhancing and elevating the excellence of the space. And so that's what today consists of for sure. The balance of the week is much of the same. I'll have the opportunity coming up to sit with some philanthropic partners and those who want to
Mhm.
either re-engage with the district because they kind of took some time off
Well,
and time
mhm.
away.
Mhm.
Those who are new and want to establish, some partnerships with the district, and then certainly those who have really just hung on for the journey and during the journey, and just excited about, the work with our newest leader. And so I'll have an opportunity to do that. Friday, I've invited. The three basketball teams to build with me. And so we will get out to
Okay.
several housing sites. Habitat for
Okay. That
Humanity
is
is
it.
something that I
Mhm.
really value as a volunteer for years. And so I have taken several of my students in previous years with me to build. I think that even though there are a lot of things that we want more of and can have more of, and while we are, navigating and walking through our own individual tight circumstances, if you will, there's always an opportunity to give. And so
Right.
the best leaders are great givers
Mhm.
of our time, of our resources. And so Habitat for Humanity has been one of the many ways that I've really valued doing. And so happy to meet the CEO there who's excited and all of the great workers who will come along and
Mhm.
build with
And
me
build.
because we're building
Yes.
something special.
Yes.
And so that's what we'll do on Friday. It's my special day. And so can't think of a better way than to spend it than with our young people
Right.
and really building homes for those who are in our community and can withstand or need and will serve to benefit from the same. So that's a little bit
Exactly.
about just this
Wow,
week.
just this
And
week.
so, yeah, and that's
Yes.
what much of the month will look like. I think we are scheduling things out in June and July now. And
Mhm.
so I just appreciate the excitement, yes, about a new leader, but also the hope that exists, the optimism that is connected to it,
Mhm.
the greatness that we know our kids deserve and the
Right.
desire, but most importantly, how we know and what we know about the expertise that we all have, and that is all necessary to bring to the tables. And I look forward to bringing the tables into the community
Mhm.
so we sit and have the necessary conversations about how to bring the district to greater heights.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. We all really appreciate you
Absolutely.
taking time and
Yeah,
coming by. Now, before we let you go,
sure.
it is radio, right? And so, at radio, you have any shouts out you want to give
Yeah.
before we wrap up,
Sure, sure. I won't do names because I'll forget somebody. You know how that goes. But I do want to shout out the students. I
Yes.
mean, the kids
Yes.
are what drives me. They drive me, fuel me. About 7,000 days ago, I started this work in education, and so just a few gray hairs later, and a lot of great work in between. I'm so excited to continue the commitment to creating the type of journey that I believe every young person deserves,
Mhm.
to allow them to live life on their own terms, to have options, whatever that
Right.
might be, whatever those might be. And so, shout out to the kids, shout
Mhm.
out to the teachers,
Yes.
those who are directly in the classroom, but the educators.
Mhm.
If you are elbows to elbows with young people, you drive a bus. You serve to keep our spaces clean. You turn
Mhm.
the lights on and
Mhm.
ensure that the doors are locked. At whatever time the last person leaves in the evening. Our facilities maintenance folks. Shout out to safety and security
Mhm.
personnel who do some dirty work to
Right.
keep us safe, but they do the necessary work that is often not valued. I see you as well, and I've had the opportunity to huddle with them also. Shout out to central office, but shout out to the community for really just jumping in on this external person who, as I heard that shared during my interview process, I was like, but just wait. Just wait until I get into your space. I think you'll be okay. I'm here for the long haul to see a lot of things through and until I'm no longer impactful. This is
Mhm.
about generational change for me.
Right.
So that means our children and our children's children. And I won't stop until we get some great work done. So shout out to the 901 community, the broader community, and those throughout the state have demonstrated support as well. I look forward to working with all of you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Dr. Feagins.
absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
My privilege.
All right, listeners. All right, Memphis-Shelby County Schools, families, and those good villages out there. We have heard from the new
Yeah,
superintendent of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. And you know what? Everything is going to be all right. We're moving forward. We're moving onward. We're moving upward. And we are moving
that's
and
right.
giving another chance as we go.
That's right.
Now that's the blessing. You're listening to the voice of Memphis Shelby County Schools.